Family, I welcome you. It's your boy, the designer kid, checking in with another video. So I was sitting back pondering. Uh, as you all know, yesterday was my first day uploading a video in 3 months. I felt like it was a pretty decent video for the time that I've been off. I got off work today and was sitting around pondering, thinking about some things that I wanted to get out and do to the channel, and something just ran across my mind. Um, this channel is all things digital, anything dealing with computers, online, privacy, security, that type of thing. I hinted a little bit in the video yesterday that the internet that we're using and the age that we're in, as far as all us being connected online, is different from what it was when I was growing up. Um, a lot of these things that I want to bring to light, and none of this stuff is really new. I was going through some stuff last year where I did a deep dive on a lot of this stuff, and we're not going to really get into it on this video. I'm kind of just prepping it up and kind of just letting you guys know what I plan to do over the course of the weekend and try to get it out on video. But I know everyone is familiar with the dark web. Like everyone should have heard of it at least once or twice. But I honestly believe that we're just in some really pivotal times right now. As far I know, with the US specifically. And in my opinion, I think everything is really going to go digital. And it's kind of really already is digital. But um, with the emergence of AI and all of this stuff, like, we have to start using practices to protect ourselves online. And that's what a lot of this stuff is. Like, and when I first started doing deep diving on this stuff a couple years ago, there are websites on the dark web that you can literally get any book. It's a great resource. And just now recently, with everything that's going on, like, they really took down all the libraries now, and a lot of those online libraries that was on the dark web literally was evidence and knowledge about, so, like, older books that you could go and fact check stuff, and they're really taking all of that stuff down. In my opinion, they're going to tighten down on this internet, like, and that's a fact. um Even in some countries, in other countries, you can't visit certain sites. It's already like that in other countries. US, I don't know how they're gonna do about it, but they're gonna lock down their internet. And, like, why would you say that? I'm gonna give you an example. A lot of the newer computers now that they sell, laptops and stuff, they have AI on it. Like, and if AI is already baked into your computer before you buy it, you're fucked. You're literally fucked. So, like, I think in the near future, the computers that they send out, you're not even going to be able to get a regular computer in maybe 10, 15 years. It's going to be embedded with some type of AI chip where it's going to really limit the things that you can do. Um, and that was the premise of this video. I wanted, but just because of that, I want to share a little awareness. And I'm not an expert. I do understand these things, and I'm not trying to explain them to the brainiacs of the bunch. Let me just say that I'm really trying to explain this to people who haven't really heard about this type of stuff and would like to get more knowledge on it. I'm not going to use super crazy big words to explain this stuff. I'm literally trying to break it down where, a kid could understand it. So with that being said, we need to start, and I do so myself, start getting into routines of protecting yourself and being cautious in of what you upload to the internet. I don't understand people uploading every photo that you take to the internet. It's already worse enough that the photos is in the cloud on your phone. That's worse enough. Like, and if you think these companies are just managing your photos in the cloud without taking a peek and analyzing it or doing whatever with it, you're crazy. Like you wouldn't believe what they're doing to our information. So I want to give. I made a whiteboard of just the different topics that we're gonna try to touch on. And when I get into depth about these things, I am gonna firsthand have it up on the screen. This video is basically just giving you an idea on what we're trying to shed some light on. So first of all, preparing for digital warfare. That's what I want. This just something I just came up with. And it's coming. I hate to say it. I give it about 5 years, man. It's gonna be a total change. Because if you don't recognize it now, everything that you do online is a subscription. It used to be these software and programs that people use like professionally. It was a one-time purchase. You buy the software and you literally have the rights to the software. You literally don't own anything now. Like I use Adobe for a lot of, Photoshop, Illustrator for a lot of creative things that I do, and that is subscription based. And it was what, 15 bucks, 20 bucks at first. Now I'm literally paying, I don't even know. It's above 35 bucks with the text and all, because they don't really show you the text before you pay. They do all type of little creepy ways to get around you not, being deceptive of what they're actually charging you for these services. But there used to be, like I was saying, you buy a software, you owned it for life. I think the only thing that you couldn't do is redistribute it, of course. But you literally own that piece of software. Now it's not like that. It has literally gotten so crazy. Like I probably spend close to $100 a month just on subscriptions. Because a lot of things that I do are online. So, and everything is almost subscription based now. So to think that they're not going to lock this down more and more in the years to come would be crazy. So these are just a couple things that you can kind of get familiar with that'll help along the way. I just say that. For one, the top thing is Linux. Linux people. I know when people hear Linux, they think, oh man, Linux fucking boring as hell. The penguin is your best friend. And I'm gonna give you a reason why I feel like Linux is the best way to go. When you're talking about operating system, Mac and Windows is centralized as fuck, especially Windows. Like you get a Windows PC, and I just came from Windows. You get a Windows PC, and it comes with so much bloatware to the point where it's literally no way to strip Windows down to the point where you have total control of your system, basically. Um, and if you didn't know, like these people know what you're doing on your computer. Like I don't give a fuck. Maybe if you incorporate some of these practices as we're going to get into, you'll be good. But other than that, you just going to buy a computer and da da da. They can literally see everything. Like especially if you're using something like Windows. Windows comes so bloated with so much stuff. It's just ridiculous. Like, and I can go into a whole deep dive on that, but we're gonna try to stay on topic. The reason why I say Linux is would probably be the your best route. Linux is what they call open source. Open source means that the software is not owned by a conglomerate. It's literally open source. Like you can go and see the source code of it. People upload and make changes to the code. You can actually see that it's totally transparent. Unlike Mac and PC. So Linux in the future, I think, will be your best bet. Um, and they do have distributions that's just not terminal based. That's the biggest misconception. When I first got into Linux, um, I thought even though it was a most of the operating systems that I use up on the Linux were did have a graphical user interface. Still, the functions that you wanted to take advantage of with that operating system, most of the time you had to utilize it through the terminal, and that is just so boring. But Linux do have distributions that cater to other things, like they have gaming distros and things like that. So if Linux is scaring you away because you thinking it's just boring and it's in a box with terminals and stuff, you good to go on that. So that's why Linux is so good. And I don't use Linux every day. I'm still daily driving Mac. But a lot of the things that I'm studying and I'm trying to get into is Linux based. And ultimately, I would like to switch to a Linux all around daily driver Linux system. And Mac is actually really like Linux, like maybe even, I mean, a variation of Unix, if I'm not mistaken. Um, so there's a real close correlation. Like a lot of the stuff that I'm learning in Linux, as far as the terminal and stuff, a lot of these things still apply with the Mac. Uh, okay, dark web will be another one. Um, and how we gonna do this? We're not doing this bullshit where we're just download Tor on our laptops and we getting on the dark web like that. That is not the way to get on the dark web. You can get on it and look around and just bullshit around like that, and that's fine. If you making any type of moves or you're doing anything serious, you do not want to get on the dark web this way. You are going to get caught. They can see you. They know who you are. The system is they pinpoint you, like they know exactly what's going on. So um the methods that I'm gonna give you as far as getting on the dark web are the real methods to get on the dark web effectively, where you don't have to have worry about compromising your anonymity. Um, Another thing that we're going to get into, and getting prepared for this is just not one thing. Like when I was doing my research on this a couple years ago, it was actually interesting because it was so many layers that I had to learn and understand to really get efficient. Like when I first heard about the dark web and things going on, I just wanted to, download Tor and I'm on there. I thought I was there until I started really doing my research, and that's not the way to do it. Like the way to do it is you want to go and you want to download Tails or Hunix, and we're going to get into that. And basically, these things are operating systems, and a lot of distros allow you to do this. You can take a flash drive and you can burn the operating system onto that flash drive. So anytime you go anywhere that's a computer available, you can literally plug that flash drive in, boot that computer up, press F12, and then it'll automatically take you into um, your distribution on the flash drive, and that would be all of your information on what you're doing through the dark web and stuff. And that's how I advise you to get on the dark web. Me personally, I always use Tails. I love Tails. I'm a huge advocate of Tails. Um, I've used Hunix also. Um, it was okay, but I just love Tails. I spend a lot of time on Tails. You can also accomplish these things through other methods, like maybe getting a system online. You can do this through the browser. Actually, you can go on Linode and make you a virtual machine. Um, get in your browser, log onto your virtual machine, which will be your Linux computer, and then you can get online and do, you know, everything you need to do. And we're talking about digital preparedness in the dark web. We're not talking about getting on the dark web to do anything illegal. Now, if you choose to do that, to each his own. That's not what we're doing. The dark web has great resources for so many other things. The online marketplaces is just a small area niche of the dark web. So what we're doing is we want to be able to utilize this technology effectively, just in case some worldwide infrastructure type stuff happen. And I honestly think that's where we headed to. Like, I think, we're going to get in a situation as far as with the countries and stuff, to where we're going to have to fall back. We're going to have to fall on these technologies to get through. Like, honestly, like, I think the government doing a lot of stuff, that's against a lot of, people's will. And at this point, it's I think it's just going to be, people versus the government and stuff. And like, these are things that we're going to need to be able to really protect ourselves, because you got to look at AIs here. Like, I've been saying AI is so close and so pinpoint. They can literally get a picture of you and put you in a video and it looked like you did something. Like, how could you, and you think it's not, like, oh, well, that's cap. How you know that? You know what I mean? How do you really know that? So, like, these things right here will be able to, like you said, be effective as far as protecting yourself and your privacy. One thing about computers and this online stuff that I hear my tech people talking about, everyday people, I don't hear them talking about stuff like this. But your private and public keys. If you got a personal computer that you use for everything, your business, your work, your personal life, your computer has or can generate what they call a key pair. A key pair is basically your master key to your system. You know what I mean? If I was active on the dark web and I only went by alias, no one else knows me, because we're all here protecting our anonymity. The only the, the only proof that I have to really verify that I am who I am is my key pair, my private and public key. Also with that private and public key allows you to encrypt and decrypt messages. Say, for instance, if someone else had my public key, they could write me a message. They could encrypt it with my public key, and guess what? They could post it on the internet for everybody to see. A it would be an encrypted message. You couldn't make out what it is, and no one could unlock it but me, because I'm the only one that has that key. So these are very vital practices to have handy and really be savvy with it, for what we looking like we're headed towards, as far as in society. So, and we're going to talk about how all of this links to crypto. um uh GPG, PGP encryption, really stood for pretty good privacy. It was it was made years ago. But we're gonna get into all that. I just wanted to make this video to try to get a just an idea on what we're gonna try to cover. And like I said, guys, I am not doing this for the experts. This is stuff that I just kind of tinker around with, and just I'm really fascinated with this type of stuff, and I just you know I I, I learned all this stuff on my own, like through my own roadmap, and I would like to share this with people who just not up on this type of stuff, and I guarantee you this will protect you in the future. So yeah, I do have a couple more things that I forgot to put on this list, but like I said, I just wanted to give you guys just an in-depth look on what we're gonna do, and I plan on starting this weekend. So between now and then, I sit down and try to break up how I want to approach it, as far as what I want to lay out first. Like I said, I want to keep this as simple as possible. I'm not getting super technical with it because you honestly don't have to. I think people do that just to try to, make themselves, you know, seem macho and shit. And honestly, this stuff is it's complex, but it's really not. You know what I mean? We're not writing the code that makes this function. We just know what it's used for and how to use it effectively, and that's what we don't get into. So yeah, I just wanted to make this quick video. Be a great project for the channel, and I'm excited. Let's get it, man.